In this video, you will learn about divided fractions. So right below here, I have written K, C, F, M. Keep, change, flip, multiply. This order, KCFM, will help us remind the steps we need to follow when we divide fractions, or how to really divide fractions. I'll get this into when we do some more examples of how you actually use this. Before we get started, I want to clarify something real quick. I want to explain what really flip means. Flip, when I say flip, is pretty much just saying reciprocal. So what is a reciprocal? Many of you may not know what a reciprocal is. A reciprocal is pretty much changing the denominator, switching the denominator and the numerator. So what do I mean when I say that? So the reciprocal of 3/4 would be 4/3. So I switched the denominator and numerator. The reciprocal of 2 would be 1/2, because technically it's 2 or 1. And the same thing goes here, this would just be 2. So that's what the reciprocal is. So let's do some examples of how to divide fractions. The first example I have is 2/7 divided by 1/3. So usually you should write on the top of your paper KCFM. This way you do not forget. So KCFM, keep, change, flip, multiply. Or flip means reciprocal. So first we're going to keep the fraction. So whatever your first fraction is, which in this case is 2/7, we keep that. So we rewrite it on the bottom of our page. Then, so we've done the keep. Now it's time to do the change. When I say change, I'm going to change the symbol, which is right, the division symbol, and change it to a multiplication symbol. Now that I've done that, I'll check this off. So again, before I said what flip meant, right? Reciprocal. So what is the reciprocal of 1/3? It would be 3/1, which is, you could just write 3, or if you want, you could also just write that 1 underneath. It wouldn't really change your answer. Now, I had to find multiply. Now, when you so we've done flip. Now we multiply. If you remember from the previous video, you learned how to do multiplying fractions. So when we multiply, we just really multiply straight across. So you do numerator times numerator, which in this case will be 2 times 3 is 6. And then we do denominator and denominator, which sometimes 1 is 7. Then, if you remember, when we multiply fractions, we have to make sure is it fully simplified. 6/7 is fully simplified. So this is the final answer that you box in. Let's do one more example. Let's do now 3 divided by 3/10. How about you pause this video and try to solve this? I'm assuming now that you've solved it, so let's go over it. So like I said earlier, you should write KCFM on the top. You don't have to, but if you forget, it's better to write it this way you do not forget. So we would keep 3. I recommend when you were doing this, you write that 1 underneath. This way you don't get confused. So we've done the keep. Now we would do change. So this would become a multiplication sign. Flip, 3/10 would just change to 10/3. So we've done that. Now you just multiply straight across. So numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. This would give us 30/3. Now again, if you remember from the previous video, you've learned that you should always simplify if you can. In this case, we can simplify it, and this would turn into 10. So your final answer that you box in is 10. Let's do one last problem. Let's do 3/4 divided by 9/10. So, according to KCFM, we should first keep the first fraction. So, 3/4 would just stay 3/4. You would change this into a multiplication sign. So you've done these two. Now we'd flip. So when you're flipping, again, the reciprocal of 9/10 would just be 10/9, and you would now just multiply straight across. So 3 times 10 equals 30. 4 times 9 equals 36. And if you remember from the multiplication, we should always simplify. So 30/36 can be simplified further into 5 or 6. If you have trouble with simplifying or having trouble multiplying the fractions, or dividing fractions, let's say, well, dividing and multiplying, you should probably check the last video, the multiplying one, how to multiply fractions. This way you know how to multiply, because in division you need to know how to multiply fractions. So that's it for this video. Hopefully this video helped you.